Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today, I'm going to be continuing to work on my butterfly. I really want to try and get this done this week before the end of March, so we'll see how I do. But this is what I'm going to be working on, so let me move things around a bit, zoom in, and I will be right back. All right, I've got my timer started. I think I'm ready to go. Got some drills here. So let me start with my regular life update. I'm going to try and stay on track this week. We'll see how that goes for me. Gosh, what have I done this week? Well, honestly, not a whole lot. It has been kind of me dealing with anxiety all week. I am still getting used to hubby being gone most of the week. I don't know how long I'm going to want to do this. Yeah, it feels like he comes home just to spend the night and then turn around and go right back, and trying to fit all of the things that he would normally do during the week into his weekend. I just feel like we spend a lot of his time home running around and doing errands, which, to be fair, he doesn't complain about, but I just feel like I don't want to waste what time he has home doing errands, but they have to get done sometime, and he needs to be with me for some of them, so just, I guess, still salty a little bit at how things turned out, that he couldn't have just stayed where he was for another 6 months. I mean, that's life. It's not his fault. It's not anybody's fault, really. It just not how I wanted it to be going, but that's neither here nor there. I did manage to fill up my time this week, not with what I thought I would be doing, I was going to say I should be doing, but I should be doing what I did, so I guess it's okay. I just feel like I should be doing more. I think that's the problem. I feel like I'm not doing enough, but I'm also dealing with, like I said, a lot of anxiety, so my sleep schedule has been really messed up. I find myself taking a couple of naps during the day, or I don't nap, and then I'm just super tired the next day, so I don't really feel like doing anything. I have been doing some things. I wanted to be packing up some stuff and going through things in the basement. I did not get that done this week just because I was tired and I didn't feel like going up and down the stairs multiple times and sorting through everything. I am going to try and get some more of that done this weekend, or this coming week. I'm just a little overwhelmed, I think, and I think a lot of that is the tired and anxious, so hopefully I can get my sleep pattern back to kind of a regular schedule, and then everything will be okay. I think I'm also facing a lot of decision fatigue, which is anxiety inducing for me as well. So what went on this week? Well, I did spend the week working on various designs, cutting, printing, figuring out packaging, all that kind of stuff. My daughter and I are working hard on trying to get this business launched. I wanted to have it done weeks ago, and everything is just taking longer than I want it to, which is okay. I mean, everything goes at its own pace, and probably not rushing into it is good, but I think because that's another source of anxiety for me. Like, I really want it to succeed, so of course I'm anxious about it. I'm happy. Well, I'm not happy with where we are in the process, but I'm okay with where we are in the process. We got some new stuff in. Got some marketing materials in. We've worked on some new things, so she's coming over again this weekend so that we can finish up some of that stuff and hopefully be well on our way. I don't know if it's realistic that we could launch it by April 1st, but that would be nice. We'll see. I mean, she's also working a full-time job on top of this, so she doesn't have as much time as I do to devote to it, which is fine. But yeah, just another source of anxiety. Anyway, it did fill up my time while hubby was away. We're coming up on week 4, and it is nice having a regular paycheck again. I will admit that. I went to go get my hair done, and I was commiserating with my hairdresser about house insurance and car insurance and all things related to that, because our house insurance, we just paid our house insurance. Our car insurance is due next, so that'll be coming up. But it's just a lot of expenses, especially because this month was also tax time, so we have expenses going out for taxes. Yeah, it's just not, tax time is not fun, right? Never is. He did at least, they worked late a couple of nights, so he got to come home early on Thursday, so he wasn't driving in the dark, which is nice. I do appreciate that. I think they work extra on purpose the days that they're there, because there are a lot of people who are doing what he is and traveling out to western Kansas and staying out there at the hotel during the week and then coming home to wherever they live on the weekends. So I guess at least he's not alone, and he gets his own hotel room. He doesn't have to share with anyone, so that's a bonus. But I don't think either one of us are looking forward to doing this for months on end, which just means I'm even more ready to get this move in gear and get it behind us, because I don't want to be doing this all the time. This is no fun. I mean, it is what we have to do until we can figure everything out, but doesn't mean I have to enjoy it, right? So bills have not been fun for us this month. And then out of the blue, I get a notification from Verizon that our cell phone bill is due, which is not unusual. I get one every month, but it was more money than our bill has been. And I mean, we've had the same plan for probably the last 4 years at least, and our bill is always the same, and it was a different amount. And so I was like, wait a minute, why is my bill a different amount? Oh, well, they raised their rates without notifying anyone. So, and of course, their rate hike is per phone line, not per plan. So since we have 3 phones on our plan, we got hit with the increase 3 times. And of course, because the base cost of the plan increased, that means all the taxes and other stupid fees they charge are also increased. So I'm not happy about that. Although I have heard that cell phones are crazier in Canada. So at this point, the plan for us is to keep our cell phones. We had discussed how we were going to do that exactly, because we thought we had to pay with a US bank account, and we have since heard from other people who live in Canada that no, they kept their US cell phone when they moved, and they use their Canadian bank and Canadian dollars to pay it. They just pay it online. I'm like, well, I guess as long as Verizon's getting paid, they probably don't care, because our current plan includes Canada. Well, it includes Mexico and Canada, but I mean, for us, what matters is Canada. So it doesn't cost us any extra. I think the amount of data we get is limited versus the unlimited data we get here, but everything else is the same. So, and once we're living up there, we would have our own internet, so we wouldn't be using our phones for data anyway, or very little. Yeah, not happy with Verizon, but we can't, if we change phone carriers, then we are still paying off our iPhones that we bought a couple of years ago. And I don't want to have to pay for those outright. We could, but I just don't want to. So I think we'll hang on to the plan for the short term at least anyway. Plus that means my daughter is on Verizon as well. That means we can call each other even when we're up there without it costing any extra. So actually, I was just talking about that with my hairdresser too. I'm old enough to remember when long distance was a thing. Like, not only did you have a landline, but you could only call long distance at night, or you had to make sure it was a low rate, or you couldn't talk for very long because it was so expensive. Now with cell phones, does anybody even have long distance charges anymore? Cell phones did too when they first came out, but now you can move your phone number anywhere, which that was also kind of nice. You used to be able to tell where somebody lived because you knew the exchange number, the first 3 digits of their phone number, you knew where that was, but it's not like that anymore. Now you could have, like, I can take my number with me to Canada if I want to, I think anyway. I mean, I can if I stay on the same phone plan. I wonder if I could change it to that phone number on a Canadian phone. Probably not, because the country code is different. Who knows? Anyway, not a whole lot going on, but I've just been super stressed. the business that we're trying to get everything ready to go so we can launch it, and still have some research and things to do as far as that goes. Hubby being gone all the time, and we're still going round and round about what we want to do when we do finally move. I think it's been on my mind lately because, not just because it's getting closer, but also the house across the street from us finally sold, so we've had new neighbors moving in, which is fine. They're not loud or anything like that. It's just because they're moving and watching them haul everything in the house and all of that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not up for moving the entire household. I guess it's good in that it kind of makes me want to get rid of more stuff, because watching them carry things in and, off the truck and trailer and into the house is tiring. I can't imagine doing that myself. So leaving most of everything behind and just taking a few essentials is looking better and better. Honestly, I'm not looking forward to driving either. Our plan is to take both of our current cars, but of course that means we have to drive them separately because we have a trailer behind my husband's car, and I don't like driving in big cities, and it would be a multi-day trip, so I'm not quite sure. I mean, my son will be with us, so we could rotate driving. My son and I could. The car that we'll be in, my husband will be stuck driving his car with the trailer, because neither my son or I have ever driven anything with the trailer attached. I certainly don't want to attempt that for the first time on a cross-country road trip. Literally cross-country, since we'd be crossing into a new one. But anyway, so now I'm debating if I want to take the second car, or if we just want to sell it and just have the one car, and then we'll get another one once we get into Canada. Because honestly, I don't know how good the car would be in Canada anyway. It's like a sportier car. It sits low to the ground, and given the road conditions up there, I just don't know that it's a great car for where we would be. I think I'd be happier with another SUV, so we'll see. Something else to think about. We've been looking at houses in Canada again. Something that we kind of had forgotten was, of course, we're going to be selling our house, so we'll have the funds from that to put towards a new house. So hopefully, if that's what we decide to do, getting a mortgage wouldn't be as difficult as I keep thinking it's going to be, because it would be for a lot less money, because we would put basically most, if not all, of what we make on our house towards the new house that we would be purchasing. And we talked about buying land and doing the trailer thing, but now we're looking at, would it be smarter to get something that had a separate apartment area available that my son could live in for a while, and then once he figures out what he's doing, whenever that is, we would have the option of maybe turning it into like income and renting it out to do it that way. I don't know if that's something we want to do or not, just a thought to keep in mind. But also, all of this would be dependent on the sale of our house. So then we're like, well, how do we do that from here? Our house isn't even on the market yet. Are we jumping the gun on some of this? Also, my husband, I think I've mentioned before, is seriously considering retiring, which means he could pull out one of his retirement funds. We've been looking, and it says he just has to be 55, but we don't know what the tax implications are. I don't know exactly. It doesn't say exactly anywhere what kind of pension, annuity, kind of whatever. Like, we don't know if it qualifies as like a 401k, if it's more like a retirement account, or if it counts as some other kinds of account, because the rules for tax withholding and penalties and all of that are different. Like, I didn't think it was an actual retirement account, because usually those you can't even touch until you're over 60. But this one says 55, so he's got some phone calls to make and things, and see what that actually means for us. Because if he could pull it out, that would be a pretty substantial, well, it would obviously be more money than we would be getting from the sale of our house, which means we might be able to do like a cash offer on some place, which means we wouldn't have to worry about getting a mortgage. Plus, then our house would be paid off up there, which means we wouldn't have a house payment. And then my husband could He would still work. We'd still need some sort of income. And I plan on continuing to do YouTube and other things. So we'd still have income coming in, but we wouldn't have a house payment, which would be lovely. And we wouldn't be paying for tuition anymore, which have been basically our two biggest expenses. Well, we do have a car payment, but we're planning to pay off the car before we head across the border anyway, so that's not a consideration. And my husband, just the optimist, every time we talk about it, well, we'll just win the lottery and then we'll do this and this and this. And I'm like, awesome that you think we have a shot at winning some multi-million-dollar lottery, but I don't want to plan on that. That seems like maybe not the best idea. I mean, would it be nice? Sure, of course it would. Probably not going to happen though. Okay, let me put these last two ends here. Yeah, so just, I think this week has just been a lot of me feeling tired and anxious. And I'm hoping I can stop overthinking things so much and just kind of get back onto an even keel. I've got a plan to kind of get my sleep schedule back on schedule, and I've got things I've got to do that are going to keep me busy. So hopefully those will let me kind of get back on track. And once I feel like I'm making some progress, then it'll all be good. I think that's the thing is I did make progress this week, just not on the things that I had planned. Just not necessarily bad, but dealing with all the anxiety issues on top of it has not helped. So lots of decisions to make. I think that's part of it too, is just so many decisions and so many unknowns that I told my husband, I think I'm going to have to keep telling myself we can't plan for everything, and just, we'll get there eventually, right? Eventually the move will happen, and then I'll know lots of things we didn't know before, and it'll all work out. We'll see how it goes. I feel like I say that a lot, but what else can I do? So many of the factors that are going to be affecting our decisions are not things we can control, so just got to do what we got to do. My son is getting closer to being done. He was complaining this last week because he had 3 tests, and I said, but it's midterms. Well, they should have had midterms before we went on spring break. Well, maybe the way they put spring break in the calendar this year didn't fall exactly at midterms. Maybe the teachers didn't want to have a bunch of tests that they felt like they wanted to grade or had to grade over midterms. I mean, they're people too. I'm sure they looked forward to having a week off. I would. His senioritis continues, but he's getting closer to being done, so that's good. His marketing class, the one where he had to find a group and do all that, seems to have settled down, and he's got a handle on it, so he's feeling better about all of that. So it's all good. For as anxious as I've been, it's not like things are terrible. I'm just anxious. And I didn't diamond paint a lot. Maybe that's the problem. I didn't diamond paint a lot this week. I did some, but not as much as I wanted to, and not as much as I should have, because I was busy working on things for the business and stuff like that. It just didn't get as much done. Okay, so that leads me nicely into enough of my complaining and moaning about all my anxiety. That leads me into my diamond painting life. So what has gone on in my diamond painting life? Well, like I just said, I didn't do a whole lot of diamond painting this week. So I haven't finished anything yet. I think that is some of it as well. This month, I did not open anything from my Want series, so I feel like I'm behind there, which I sort of knew was how it was going to go, but I'm also not finishing things. Like at the beginning of the month, I was hoping to be done with Bubble Fairies by the middle of the month, and I made a pretty good stab at it, but I didn't make it, and so I only have 1 row left. So hopefully you guys will see that sometime this week, because I should finish that this week. I'm hoping to also finish this kit this week so I can have 2 finishes, because I haven't finished anything this month so far, because I've also been putting in time on my Josephine wall, which won't get counted until that kit is finished. So I'll have a big chunk of time once that kit is finished, but until it is, it looks like I've been doing a whole lot of nothing, which isn't true, but I want to finish Bubble Fairies. I want to finish this one, and I'm still working on the Josephine wall, although I'm still behind on it. So this week I want to spend more time diamond painting and get as much back on schedule as I can. And then I'll have to look and see what I want to do next. I'm probably going to be working on, once I finish Bubble Fairies, I'll start the Universe in a Jar. It's already open and kitted up, so I would like to work on that one. Those are two of my oldest kits. And then I was going to open another older kit, which was my Jasper C. It's around, and I feel like the last couple 4 kits I've done have all been squares. So I would like to do a round. Now, my J wall is a round, but again, it's going to take so long to get it done that it kind of doesn't count. Also, because it's so confetti heavy, it's not the same as doing a round where I can do multi-placing. So there's that too. But I spent more time working on business stuff than I had anticipated doing, which again is okay, just ended up being more time than I thought. I was having fun while I was doing it though, so it's okay. Although I am still anxious about it, like I said, so not a lot to report as far as diamond painting goes, which seems weird, but I know that's because I'm working on such large canvases this year. I think this is the first kit that I've done that's probably smaller than a 50 by 50 or a 60 by 50 this year. And I usually do a lot more like partials and small kits and everything, but I wanted to get some of these bigger kits done. And so it's okay that I'm not doing as many. I think that's why I feel like maybe I'm behind as well. I'm not really behind. I just feel like I haven't finished as many things, which is true. I haven't. But the last couple of years, like I said, I've been more focused on kind of smaller kits. Not that I didn't do big kits, but I did more smaller kits. So working on a lot of these large projects, everything just takes longer, obviously. I have done some videos and some things that I've been meaning to do for a while. I did yesterday's video. If you missed it, go check it out. I finished my conversion of the poured glue canvas, of the double-sided adhesive canvas into a poured glue canvas. It was actually quite a bit easier than I thought it would be. So now I'm kind of wondering, that's got my brain going all kinds of other places, not only to maybe do another conversion at some point. I don't know when that would be because I don't currently own any double-sided adhesive kits. And I don't really order from anybody that does. I mean, I guess if I ordered another Diamond Painting Deutschland, maybe they would. But really, most of the companies that I order from these days, everybody's doing poured glue. Even the budget companies are mostly poured glue. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do something like print my own design, like find a piece of old public domain, like an old masters or something that I want to do that isn't available from anybody else. Or even just, I guess, even if it is available from anyone else, to just do it myself and try making my own diamond painting. Because it wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought. And now I have extra glue laying around because I was trying out different kinds of glue. That was an interesting process too. I think that was part of why it was so fun for me to do the last couple of videos that I've done, because it feels like I'm back to experimenting and learning, which is kind of where I started out with the channel, and maybe I've wandered away from that a little bit. I mean, I still have to do unboxings and kitting ups and WIP and chats and all that kind of stuff, but I really like the can I figure out how to do this videos, or if I try this, is it going to work? So I have other ideas of things in mind that I'm going to try for that, but we'll see. Oh, and I did add to my stash this month, which I wasn't going to do, but Bella Art had the new kits and they had a couple that I wanted, so I got a couple from them. I still don't have the ones that I ordered in January, the ones that end up being, they say pre-orders, but I guess they're more like back orders is what I would consider them, because they were the new releases, but the ones they had on hand sold out. So now they're having to wait for the factory to produce the rest of them. Yeah, I guess I feel like it's more like a back order than a pre-order, but whatever. Still waiting on those. So eventually I'll have those 3 kits to add to my stash. The 2 that I did get, and then I had that wild idea of having my husband order some kits for me. That actually turned out really well. I'm really happy with the kits that he bought, and he's actually, even though we kind of talked about it and I said, you know, I thought you would buy something that was more what you wanted, because I had told him that was fine if he wanted, you know, a skull diamond painting or whatever, I would do that for him. And he said, yeah, but I wanted you to enjoy it. And he said, honestly, I like the ones I picked out. I would like to see you do those. It wasn't that he disliked them. He did pick them out with an eye towards this would be something that I would like, but he'd like to see them done too. I mean, we already have all kinds of diamond paintings hanging around our house. It's not like that would be a new thing. So I've got the 2 kits that he ordered that are going to get added into my stash as well. And it's getting pretty close to time for me to do a stash update. I try to do those once a quarter, so I probably will be doing one of those before long. I did finally get, oh, I don't know if I told you guys this or not. I had to go to the eye doctor. I know I told you that part. I had to go to the eye doctor. Basically, I have a new floater in my eye. Welcome to being old. Anyway, my first visit, took all these pictures and everything. Oh, it's just this. It's nothing to worry about. Okay, cool. She said, but I would like to see you back in 2 weeks just to make sure that it hasn't got any worse and all that. We'll do a recheck. Okay, cool. I got billed for both visits. Like, I feel like the recheck should be included in the first one. That seems like when you have surgery and you get charged for the surgery, that post-op check is also included as part of the surgery. So, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it, but I was just kind of annoyed that we got charged for both of those. I'm starting to get enough filled in here that maybe I can do some nice multi-placing. Once I get kind of the flowers and everything filled in, like this section here, kind of the background, will be some nice multi-placing. That has been going back and forth from the J-wall to the bubble fairies. It's kind of weird going from round to square and back, but I will say going from the J-wall to something else is nice because the amount of confetti, and I like confetti, don't get me wrong. It's not that I mind the confetti, but there's just a lot of it. So moving from that over into something like the J-wall or the bubble fairies where it's a lot more multi-placing is nice. Maybe I need to like write myself a schedule for this many hours of the day I'm going to work on this and this many hours of the day I'm going to work on that and see if I can stick to it. Last week was a bad week. I let a lot of things slide last week that I normally would do just because I just didn't feel like doing them. It's okay to have bad days, right? It's okay to have bad days. Have a bad day, bad week. Next week will be better. Next week, this coming week. However you say that. That always gets confusing to me. So yeah, it's been a rough week. I mean, it could have been a lot worse, so maybe I'm complaining about nothing, but I think I just miss my husband being around, you know? He's my person, and so having him gone, I mean, we still talk all the time. We talk multiple times a day. He calls all the time. But it's not the same as having him here. It feels like he's living out of a suitcase. Because even though he's home, you know, he comes home, throws everything in the laundry, packs it back up in the suitcase. We have a couple of days of normal, and then he's back to packing everything up. Like, I can't believe it's Sunday already, and now he has to pack up and be back on the road and be gone for another 4 days. But, like I said, got to do what you got to do. There isn't any work around here. None. Zero. And we could be one of the unlucky people who didn't manage to snag something before they started laying all those other people off. And he didn't get laid off. He's got a job somewhere, so that's something to be grateful for. Yeah, I just need to make a to-do list, I think. I haven't done that in a while. Make a to-do list and start marking it off. Is that crazy? How many of you make to-do lists? Sometimes I feel like I spend more time making the list than I do actually getting things done. But it is very satisfying to be able to cross something off of that to-do list. So it's a motivation tool to help me get more things done. Also, I think I'm gonna try turning off the TV this week. I usually listen to my Dead People shows while I'm diamond painting, but I've been trying to, I have a couple of podcasts that I'm very, very behind on, so I've been trying to get caught up on those. I used to listen to the radio all the time, and I have realized over the past month or so that I really don't listen to music much. I mean, even if I wasn't listening to the radio, I would have my music on, music that I own, CDs. They're not CDs anymore, they're MP3s now, but music that I actually owned, purchased, however you want to look at it. And I just don't do that a lot anymore either, and I should, because I really enjoy it. Plus, if I turn on the right kind of music, I get more done, so that would be helpful as well. So I think I'm going to try that this week and see if between my to-do list and the music, I can't get myself a little more motivated and get some more things accomplished. I mean, I used to work 3 jobs, basically, and still take care of my house and kids. Not that I want to go back to that craziness. I absolutely do not. And I was a lot younger then, so there's that too. But I certainly could be doing more than I am. So I think that's part of it for me, is just, yeah, I'm not feeling like I'm doing all the things I could be doing. And Lord knows I have enough to get done, so if I can make a start in all of that. My son actually has kind of been bitten by the bug as well. He came up the other day. Well, some of it was he just kind of wanted to reorganize his room. He wanted to move his furniture around, and he was trying to figure out the best way to do that. And I said, well, you can get rid of this one piece of furniture. You don't really need it, but it's full of stuff. And I said, but is anything in there things that you use? Not really. It's just stuff that he's collected over the years and no other place to put it. So it has gotten shoved in these drawers and things. And I said, well, go through that and get rid of a bunch of stuff. So I think I'm going to order some more of those take back bags. I donate to our local thrift shop when I can. If it's stuff that's like if I donate sweatshirts or t-shirts or things that have the local school logo or mascot, I'll donate that. Actually, I'm going to be donating to my kids' graduation robes from high school. Neither one of them want them. I think I'm going to go donate those because graduation is coming up soon, and I'm sure somebody would like to not have to buy those brand new again for as much as they cost. Ridiculous how much you pay for some of that stuff that they literally wear once. So I'll donate those, but I get the take back bags. They're basically bags that I mail off clothing to this place, and then instead of the clothes possibly ending up in a landfill, they recycle them and turn them into other clothing that they sell. But I need to get some more. I had a couple of bags, but we've basically sent them all back, so I need to buy some more bags because I want to go through my closet this week. I have finally decided that, gosh, you guys, I don't know if any of you have done this, but I've hung on to some clothing just for sentimental reasons. Like I've got some clothing that I got on vacation with my parents and stuff like that I don't wear. It's just got sentimental value. I'm going to pull out some of them and I'm going to see if I can get them turned into a t-shirt blanket. I already have one t-shirt blanket, but I'm going to try and get it turned into a second one. I've got a bunch of my son's old t-shirts from school, from his sports and that kind of thing, that I'm going to do the same thing for him. I just got to find someone who does it. And then I'm going to get rid of a bunch of other stuff. I mean, I've got shirts that are so old, the elastic isn't even any good anymore. Like, I'm never going to wear them again, so I don't really know why I'm hanging on to them. And my husband is the same way. I said we literally could get rid of 3/4 of our closet and we probably never even notice. Although some of he's hung on to because he has to wear fire retardant clothing for his job. And we were discussing that as well. Prices are crazy. So typically he will get an allowance from whatever company he works from. Usually when you're a new employee, they'll give you a certain dollar amount and say, okay, you can go out and spend whatever this dollar amount is on the FR clothing, get yourself a couple things, because it always will come branded, you know, with a patch or embroidery or like some kind of iron-on transfer of the name of the company that he's working for. So they gave him his allowance and said, go out and get some more stuff. Well, nobody ever orders from the same company. It seems like it's always a different company, even though I would swear it's the exact same clothing, just coming from different companies. And we were laughing about it. He had ordered shorts and a pair of shorts. He'd ordered a shirt and a pair of pants. They have to wear long sleeve shirts and long pants. So he had ordered one of the shirts because he's like, I want to see what it's like before I order any more, because if I don't like it, they have this other option and I'll get that one instead. So the pants and shirt came the other day and we were looking at it. The shirt was $150. Now, this shirt, it's a pullover. It's not a button shirt. Doesn't have a collar. No cuffs. No that you have to button. I mean, the shirt does have cuffs, but nothing that you have to button. No buttons. It's just a pullover, long sleeve shirt. Now, it does have like little reflective stripes on it. And it's got a little logo of the company that he works for. But other than that, like, there is no way this shirt cost even a third of that to produce. And then we're looking at them. They're all made in Mexico. So there's no way that it cost $150 for them to produce that shirt. That's nuts. Now, I realize they're adding, because it's fire retardant, and I think it was also rated because he works around electricity. I don't know if it was the shirt or the pants. One of them was rated for some sort of jewel rating or something like that. But it's just crazy. And the pants, which are denim, were only $50. So that made 0 sense to me either. I'm like, why is the shirt so much more expensive than the pants? That seems crazy. I mean, so literally almost over, well, a little less than half the budget they gave him was spent for one pair of pants and one shirt. And I'm like, you'd think that they would give you enough of a budget that you could buy for like your whole work week. So enough to cover 4 shirts, 4 pairs of pants. Just crazy. It looks like, holding up some of his shirts from other places, like I said, and comparing them, the tags on the inside look almost exactly the same. I'm like, I would lay money they probably all come from the exact same place. You're just getting charged different amounts because whatever company they're getting them from here in the US is charging different amounts. It's just crazy. This is kind of nice, getting to multi-place some of these here. I've been working on my J-wall lately, so I haven't done a lot of multi-placing. Just getting them all in there like that feels good. Okay. Well, I made a nice dent in this. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I am going to make myself a schedule, and I am going to make myself a to-do list. So I'm going to have set times every day this week while my husband is gone of things that I'm going to get accomplished. I probably won't get them all accomplished, and that's okay. But at least having a schedule will hopefully get me back where I want to be. I was going to say where I need to be, but where I want to be. That's what I'm working towards. All right, let me zoom out a bit here so you can see. So I got a little bit more done. You can see I've got that flower done, and there's some leaves. I'm working on this other flower, and this is just a leaf, another flower down here. Once I get some time and I just sit and work on it, I will get a lot more done. I really have been concentrating on what little diamond painting I did this week was on the J-wall, so get Bubble Fairies done, get this one done, and then I can concentrate on some new stuff, and that'll be good. Okay, I think that's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Thanks for listening and to my ranting and venting about all my anxiety issues this week. I try not to be too much of a downer because I feel like people don't want to listen to that, but sometimes it was just a rough week. So I felt like I needed to share that with you guys. It's all good. Things are better now. Things are looking up. I've got a plan going forward, and yeah, it's all good. Okay. Before you leave, guys, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.